Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Gear Rack, your end-all be-all military surplus shop. In one of our last videos, we broke down why a lot of people hate the Molle 4000. And one of the biggest complaints we heard across the board was about its spacing. People say compared to the Molle 2, it just doesn't hold enough gear. So today we're gonna be putting that to the test. We're gonna load out both rucks exactly the same. No guessing, no hypotheticals, just a straight up comparison between both bags. First though, let's talk about the layout. It's always recommended to pack light at the bottom and heavy on top. The whole thing to be cinched down to keep anything from shifting. Balance is honestly really key here. We don't want one side heavier than the other, and we want the weight centered along your spine. Or pro tip, throw it all in randomly in your bag, and then you get VA disability when you get out. The more you know. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we got the Molle 4000, and then we got the Molle 2. So here we got both bags. They're totally empty right now. First things first, we're gonna start with one of the lighter items, like the MSS, 1 and then 2. Just go ahead and add them to the bag, same time. So I've just fully put the MSS into the Molle 4000. I originally put it in vertically, and now I shifted it horizontally. So it's sitting very flat at the bottom of the bag. Now we're gonna do the same for this large ruck, the Molle 2. Putting it in vertically, now gonna orientate it horizontally. Okay. So now we've got two wet bags. This is gonna be our mid layer. I've got some OCPs and then a Wubby in each of these. They're the same, just different wet bags. So I'm gonna try take all the air out, get these pretty compressed. For each of these, I put 2 trousers and then 2 blouses and then the Wubby for each of those. Next item to go in are laundry bags. I like to put this one right above the wet bag. Next item, honestly a really cool one. These are woodland ponchos. They don't make them like this anymore, but it's ones that I like. So what I'm gonna do, get these ponchos laid open like that. Now on top, what I'm gonna do is add some polypros and then fold these in to the poncho. You guys could add them to the wet bags in your mid layer, but I don't know, I've always done it this way, so don't come at me in the comments if you guys do it differently. So this one is folded up, pushed all the air out, and honestly, the Molle 4000 is getting pretty full. But we're gonna do the same thing for this other bag here. This is just one set of polypros, nothing crazy. Next 2 items I've got are 2 sets of OCP knee pads. I'm gonna add 1 to one side and then 1 to the other. Oops. It's all coming apart, looking pretty good. Next to go in the bag are 2 field tarps. This is basically all the way to the top of both bags. So what we're gonna do now is add some hydration up top. Here I've got 2 camelbacks with a bladder. These are typically kept on top, and if you guys keep this out, you can actually have access to your water without taking apart your ruck, which is pretty good. This is gonna be the same, just add it to the Molle 2. Next, we've got some more water, which I'm gonna stick right up front in both bags. These are our 2 1-quart canteens. Let's just see if we can go ahead and get these guys cinched down. All right, that one's cinched. Now on to the Molle 4000. Honestly, so far, they're pretty comparable. I mean, the comments, people were saying that the Molle 4000 felt way smaller. Having them side by side, not seeing that right now. All right, so this is where I think we're gonna have trouble with the Molle 4000. Basically, we gotta get this top flap closed, but it's gonna be somewhat difficult to get it all nice and level. And then after we get it closed down, the Molle 2, I believe, is gonna have a little bit more space. It looks like the Molle 4000 is fully closed up top. I left a bit of the hydration out for ease of access. Now we got the front pockets on front. All right, so this is what it's gonna be looking like now that the Molle 4000 is closed. It is pretty full. I think, you know, with some better packing, I might be able to scram some more gear in there, but I think this is a pretty good representation of how it's supposed to be rucked. But let's go ahead and close up the Molle 2 and see how much more space we have at the end of this. All right, so actually, now that I'm going to close this, there's still quite a lot of room up here. I mean, you can see, I don't have it cinched down, but there's a little bit of play. So I'm actually gonna add an extra item at the very top. This is gonna be a little controversial. It's an ICS. I know a lot of you guys may never ruck with these. Some might not even use it, but it's a pretty heavy piece. Good to keep the weight distributed nicely. But yeah, just wanted to show what the Molle 2's really got to offer in that little top flap for its spacing. So the ICS is fully in there, it's closed down. I've got it a little bit cinched, and I think there's still a little bit more space on the top flap, believe it or not. So we're gonna see if I can add a few more pieces to the very top before moving on. See right here, there's a little opening. Here's a few little pieces I was thinking about adding. We've got an IFAC, which typically I might use in the sustainment pouches. Got some gloves. Let's try that out just to see. just to see. This is cold weather inserts that I'm adding, and then some leather duty gloves. Both of those fit no problem. Really just about getting the ruck looking nice. I'd say fits pretty good. So now what we have are 2 sustainment pouches, and then also we got to fit one of these roll mats. All right, so basically that's going to be both rucks in the main compartment done. Now what I want to do is focus on these front pockets on the Molle 4000, and then also the 2 sustainment pouches, which famously the Molle 4000 doesn't have, but the Molle 2 does. So first, I want to start with this roll mat. I use these non-inflatable ones. I know you guys probably use Thermarest right now, but this is what I had available. I think it'll still work out for our purposes. Just like that, sleep mat has been attached. Let's now do the same for the Molle 2. So the Molle 2 is going to be slightly different. You can see we actually have these straps running through our sustainment pouch. I'm going to see if I can try to fit it in there without messing anything up. So what I'm doing is I've got a little bit of play over here. So here we could bring it up through the side and I can cinch it down. I've also seen some people thread it through the bottom, keep it like that. Considering I've got it on the side of the Molle 4000, I'm going to keep it here. But I know a lot of you guys are probably going to think this is disgusting. That's all right, man. All right, and just like that, this has now been attached. I do like that the Molle 4000 has these little clips. I feel like that is an added bonus. Although it doesn't have this though. That's the sustainment pouch. So next for the sustainment pouch, we got an IFAK and then a troop support shirt. I'm gonna push this in the bottom, get the base layer. I know you guys might not typically put this in the sustainment pouch, but I actually don't have any wipes. So I'm gonna add that in its place. If you know, you know. You don't really go anywhere without those. But yeah, we'll throw the IFAK on top. And then I'm gonna call it a day for this side on the Molle 2. Now let's work on this side of the Molle 4000. So here we got the 3 front pockets instead. So again, we've got that troop support shirt, which I'm gonna add to the bottom, this side pocket right there. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit the IFAK, but we'll try. It is gonna fit. Okay, this is good. I know you might say also, we could just Molle this to the side of the bag, but I feel like that's kind of cheating because there's not much Molle on the Molle 4000, bunch of Molle on the Molle 2. So I feel like that would just hands down, you know, get this guy as the winner. Next item is gonna be a 2-quart canteen. No water in this, but it is filled up with air to emulate what it'd be like to run this completely full. So this front pocket of the Molle 4000 actually does a really good job at fitting a 2-quart canteen. Feel free to drop a comment, whatever you guys put in these. So that's in there. And then just like in the top flap of the Molle 2, we've got some extra gloves. So I can put that cold weather inserts here. Then we can put our leather duty gloves in this pocket instead. And there's a little bit more space in this left front pocket. So we'll see if we can add anything else. So let's add the 2-quart canteen. This is sustainment pouch, plenty of space in here. And what I actually have next on the agenda are some rain suit parkas and pants. Now, it's gonna be a little tight, but I think it can be done on the Molle 2. I am not confident whatsoever that this is gonna fit in the Molle 4000, but we'll give it a crack anyways. So here are rain suit pants and ACU, UCP, whatever you guys wanna call them. And then we got the rain suit parka to go with it. It's pretty tight, does fit. Hate the way that it looks. Probably could have done that a little bit better, but hey, it does fit. And as it stands right now, I think this is all for the Molle 2. Let's see how much we can fit of this into the Molle 4000. I don't think it's gonna be a whole lot. Okay, starting with the pants, here's what we've got. Get these rolled up. And with those leather duty gloves, I don't think it's gonna work with them being in there. So I'm gonna take them out. We'll try something different. Can we fit the pants in this bottom pocket though? I don't think it's gonna happen, guys. I am trying. So instead, I think I'm gonna try to re-roll this, get this nice. I don't know. It is slowly fitting, which I'm actually pretty surprised about. It is really gonna be bulging out of this though. Pause. Okay, looks like the parka is not gonna fit. The pants barely fit. I don't know if you would count this at all because you would never ruck with it like this. So really, I have to say no. But hey, it's a good start. And then I think I could squeeze these in with the 2-quart canteen. This is looking pretty full. The only 3 places I don't have items are these. Basically, nothing crazy can really fit in there. Maybe some peanut butter packets. That's what we like to find in them. Found some protein bars. I've also found some compasses, pocket knives, little things like that. So there is a little bit of extra space here. Okay, so after finishing up with this little experiment, I have to say the Molle 4000 actually has held up pretty nice. From the comments, I was expecting about half of the stuff to really fit, but honestly, the only things that are missing are the ICS and the rain suit parka. I will count the pants. Honestly, I should. Okay, no pants, no pants. The pants don't count in this one, but you know, it's not too bad. Overall though, I will say the Molle 2 is slightly bigger, and the sustainment pouches on the side go kind of hard. So that's a letdown for the Molle 4000. Overall, not too bad though. Okay, so now you guys have seen it. Same gear, different rucks, but now I have to ask you, have you run these packs differently in the field, and do you pack them differently? Or have you figured out a way to squeeze more into the Molle 4000? Drop your loadout tips in the comments. Plus, if there's anything else you guys like about the Molle 2 better, let us know and we will do our best to debunk this guy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.